I strongly believe that Penn State is going to win the national title, the 2025 national title. And I want to give you 10 reasons why that is. They should win a national title this year because Penn State last season was a top 3 team that is top 25 in returning production, that poached the #1 defensive coordinator from last year's national championship, and they potentially have the best quarterback in America in Drew Aller. They've also fixed a litany of their issues, mostly the wide receiver room. But I want to get to it and show you these reasons. So let's do that here. Reason number 1 is they have college football's best staff. Jim Knowles, Andy Kotelnicki. Look at Phil Trotwine, Stan Drayton. Talk about Deion Barnes. Talk about Dan Connor. What about Anthony Poindexter? Terry Smith. Chuck Losey. I think he might be the best strength and conditioning coach in the country, or at least up there. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. Elite staff. I think it's number 1. There's a debate as to whether it's better than Texas's or Georgia's in my mind. Those are the unanimous, from my perspective, top 3 staffs. I think Penn State's won because Jim Knowles is the best coordinator in America, and Kotelnicki is one of the best OCs, if not the best OC, in college football. We're now looking at the offensive line, which is also college football's best. They returned 4 starters, with 3 of them being seniors. You have Nolan Rucci, senior, Drew Shelton, senior, Nick Dawkins, senior, Vega Ione is a redshirt junior, and Anthony Dunco, Cooper Cousins, whoever they start at guard, the other guard spot opposite of Vega Ione. They'll be younger, but they will be good, proven. I mean, Dunco looked amazing last year. Cooper Cousins was raved about as a high schooler and played for Penn State enough last year where he wasn't redshirted. Maybe TJ Shanahan can find a spot there. Regardless, they, I think, have 9 or 10 playable offensive linemen by Big Ten standards. 4 starters returning from an awesome run-blocking O-line last year. They should be much better in pass blocking this season. That also ties in with an elite starting defensive line. I don't think Penn State quite has the Clemson or Georgia or Michigan depth at D-line. But I think that Denida Sutton and Zane Durant are first-round talents for a reason. And you also got to factor in Alonzo Ford Jr. You also have to think about Xavier Gillum. You look at Penn State's defensive end group, and I think Zariah Fisher's going to have a breakout year. Also got to pay attention to Ty Blanding. Penn State has better size at defensive tackle than they've had in a while, and they have good size at defensive end. So I like what I see out of this D-line. I think that depth could be a concern, but their starters are going to be among the nation's best for sure. In fact, I have it tabbed as the nation's best starting defensive line. I just think that Clemson and Georgia's depth is so much better that I'd probably tap Clemson as having the better D-line overall. But still, it's an elite unit. Number 4 is the round 1 pick 1 that Penn State has at quarterback in Drew Aller. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the best quarterback in America because round 1 pick 1 is not always the same. It's not always equal to the best quarterback in the nation. Aller will be competing for that, though. He had similar efficiency metrics last year that J.J. McCarthy did in 2022, and he's going to have a better, I'd say better pass blocking O-line than McCarthy did in 2023, better wide receivers than he did in 2023, a better offensive coordinator, better running backs. We'll see if they have better power running. That's an area where I may be hesitant to compare and say Penn State's better than that 2023 Michigan team there. But everything's set up for him to succeed, and he made massive strides from 2023 to 2024. Reason number 5 is the upgraded receiver core. Ties into Aller upgrading for sure, but is also a separate reason. So they've recruited 3 portal wide receivers. Devontae Ross, Trevor Pena, and Kyron Hudson. Tyseer Denmark has also looked good from what I hear, and Liam Clifford is probably serviceable enough to where if you need him to be wide receiver 3 or 4 or 5 and you have two good ones, he's at least, something experienced, can occasionally make a good play here and there. It's a much better wide receiver core than what Penn State had last season or 2023. I will say it's probably better than the 2022 receiver core. It's the best since 2021, if not before that. And those are some pretty big reasons. The best staff, best overall trench play, potentially the best QB, and at least a great wide receiver. Not elite, but great. And that combined with an elite QB means the passing offense can be lethal. Let's check out another column of reasons, though. Number 6 is an electric linebacker group with Amari Campbell and Dominic DeLuca sharing the green spot duties, so they'll be communicating with Jim Knowles. You also got Tony Rojas, who is healthy, fast, freakishly athletic there. Reason number 7 is possibly the best defensive back room. I say possibly because Penn State's been inconsistent there the past 2 years. But Harris is viewed as a first-rounder. Zakee Wheatley is viewed as a future NFL player. The staff have raved about this DB room. It's possibly the best. I don't think it's going to be the best, but I think it can be competing for that spot. I think it can compete for that, for sure. And I love it. It has the upside to be the best, and its floor is probably being one of the better DB rooms in the Big Ten and in the nation for sure. Ton of untapped potential, and I think they're going to certainly be better at corner this year than they were last year. Safety, we'll have to wait and see, but they should reload at that position. 8 is the elite running back duo. They're only this low because the offensive line makes up your rushing attack more than the running backs do. That's just more important. And Singleton and Allen were great last year, and they still lost their close games. So in relationship to Penn State winning it all, they can play a key contributing factor, but there are other things around them that have to, I think, work harder than they do to make that happen. Not an insult to them, though. They bring terror to defenses. I think they're the best 1-2 punch in college football. Can't wait to see them in action yet again. Hopefully they can both stay healthy this year, unlike last year when Singleton was banged up for a time. Number 9 is the depth at tight end. Reynolds and Dinkins, I think, will perform well. Reynolds is a freak athlete. Dinkins is a proven, reliable blocker. And reason number 10 is fantastic development. I mean, Penn State preps its players for the NFL. And they reload on defense year over year over year over year. Can't say the same about the offense, but I can say that about the defense. The defense earns benefit of the doubt. And that combined with Jim Knowles and the staff they have means that this team overall should have some more potential squeezed out of them from 2024 to 2025. I'm so excited to watch this team, and I'm confident they'll win it all. I boldly picked them to go 16-0. Don't know if that'll happen. Not exactly confident that will. But I am confident in the fact that they'll win the national title. Let's check out their schedule here, Penn State's schedule. They're plus 230 to win the Big Ten, minus 325 to reach the playoffs. I think they're a lock to reach the playoffs. They essentially have a 2-game season. Oregon at home week 5, Ohio State on the road week 10. If they win one of those games, the season's acceptable. And if they win every other game besides one of those two, season's acceptable. The only way the regular season is an outright success is if they go 12-0, in my mind. Now, obviously, you'd take 11-1 or even 10-2 if it meant you won it all. If it meant you won it all. I think Penn State's worst matchup on this schedule in the Big Ten is Ohio State, mainly because of Ohio State's wide receivers and Caleb Downs. So Penn State's secondary is not going to have a fun time covering those receivers. They've had, I think, a shaky secondary Penn State has relative to expectations over the past 2 years, especially when it comes to playing Ohio State. And Ohio State's DBs will be good enough to limit those receivers for Penn State some. So that'd be the worst matchup. I can't think of another matchup in football outside of maybe Georgia that would be a worse matchup for Penn State than what Ohio State provides. So if Penn State can get through undefeated in this regular season, well, that's a huge achievement. Ultimately, I think they'll go beyond that and win the college football playoff with a 16-0 record. But that's just my prediction. I will much more easily stick to the idea that they'll win it all than go 16-0 because winning it all is much more likely than going 16-0, which means you win it all. and also being an undefeated team. But if there's any team that can go undefeated this year, overall, I think it's Penn State. Their schedule lines up nicely, their roster's awesome, and they have the nation's best staff. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description, join the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.